Travis Wayne Goodsell. Are there any lawyers out there licensed to practice in the state of Utah? It has nothing to do with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, though they started it all. It's Amazon. I think I've got their balls to the wall. All I think I need to do is get a lawyer who will chop off their balls. I don't know, but I think that's what just happened today with the mail. So let's give you a back history. And in case you're wondering, you'll have to get paid after you win, but the counterclaim was for $33 billion. So if anybody wants to take the case, I will make sure to pay you in full. Let's give you the backstory. Last week, I did a video talking about, I think the week before, it was right after the church, our Judge Campbell, dismissed with prejudice my second lawsuit against the church. All of a sudden, I got served. A guy showed up at our building, and I was there to be served. The lawsuit was for Amazon's credit card, and I'd have to go even back now, but before I do that, last week I had filed my response and gave Utah law and asked for it to be dismissed with prejudice, and then filed a counterclaim, not knowing how it was supposed to be done and operated. And so I'm still concerned as to whether I still need to respond and cancel the counterclaim. But I'm wondering, because Rule 41 deals with what they just did today. But last Friday, I got an immediate response back from the prosecution lawyers, the plaintiff's lawyers, saying that my motion to dismiss is ridiculous, and they're going to continue to pursue to the fullest extent of the law, and blah blah blah. And then sent a second letter as they replied to it and said there's no claim upon which relief can be granted, and I know all about that with the church. And it needs to be dismissed, and I need to show proof. And so today, before I give you the backstory and then the backstory, today I get a letter, which is their filing motion, notice of dismissal without prejudice, in accordance with Rule 41A, Utah Rule. Looking at Rule 41A, dismissal of actions, A is voluntary dismissal effect. A1, by the plaintiff. And A1A, subject to Rule 23E and any applicable statute, the plaintiff, which is Amazon, may dismiss an action without a court order by filing A1AI a notice of dismissal before the opposing party serves an answer, or a motion for summary judgment. I almost did that. I was going to do it over the weekend. Being bummed out with this, I hesitated. And hesitation destroys nations. Because I also got served by the courts, where is it? With a filing fee of $165 unless I sent in a motion for a waiver. I'm the defendant. I'm the victim. And so that's what bummed me out. It's getting hot now, so I'm now opening windows, and so yeah, the audio is going to suck for the rest of the year until winter time again. Or at least suck worse. And so I have to do all this. I had all the papers filled out. Oh God, it was a pain in the butt. And was going to go over compromat, which is what they were doing. They knew of my financial thing, and I'll get to that. That's the history of the history. But yeah, I was all ready to go and was going to do it this morning, but then Russ, oh dear God. And so yeah, I was bummed out again, and knowing that it was because of the second X. So I get the mail. There it is. So here I am looking up dismissal of actions. The OR, A1AII, a stipulation of dismissal signed by all parties who have appeared. So it's obviously the first I, notice of dismissal before the opposing party serves an answer. I could have had it sent off today. It would have already been gone as I get in the mail the other one. He would have picked up the mail, because I had it all ready to do if I had done it. It was going to go out today. And then it's A1B, unless the notice or stipulation states otherwise, the dismissal is without prejudice. So it's basically they're dropping the case. So that's why I'm now concerned. Do I need to now file a dismissal of action? They've already replied. I've already replied. I don't understand what's going on. Because, again, before the opposing party, me, serves an answer. I served my answer. Or a motion for summary judgment. I've done that. That was when I filed the counterclaim as well. And so I think they're trying to save themselves. This is why I think I've got them by the balls. And all I need to do is rip them off, but I don't know how to rip them off. I need somebody who's knowledgeable in bull veterinarianism, animal husbandry, who is skilled at ripping off the balls of Amazon. Because I don't think they're allowed to dismiss anymore. The case has already proceeded. I filed a counterclaim. And so, yeah, it was under A, so it's not B, involuntary dismissal, or a dismissal of counterclaim, or a costs of previous dismissed action, or a bond or undertaking to be delivered. They put A, which is voluntary dismissal effect. And so how did I get the Amazon card, and why do I have them by the balls? Why do I have a clear-cut victory in this case, in a defense? That they would all of a sudden, as multi-billionaires, decide all of a sudden to not pursue the $5,000 owed to them with the Amazon credit card. Very strange. They had no problem. They were sure they were going to win, because you never bring a case if you don't have a chance of winning. So, the backstory. The first backstory. Well, I guess it's now the second or third backstory. And so what we had was maybe, okay. Yeah, I'm going to need to do another backstory after this one. In 2014, I was freed from my indefinite incarceration. Thus, the other backstory. As a result of my conditions for release, I was put on probation. Again, I have to explain the backstory. The person who was paid by the church to order or request to the judge that I be indefinitely detained was the probation officer. What a nightmare my life has been. And she, of course, having been paid, having been the one responsible, she was not going to let me off of probation. But again, I was freed. So, when I first got out, I was put into what was called wellness recovery. It's no longer in existence. It's been done away with. The place that I was sent to was downtown. It was a mold-infested building. That's where I learned that I have allergies to mold. Which, again, if you know anything about the reason for the windows and the audio and all this stuff, my own property manager tried to have me assassinated. That's how fun my life has been. And so, wellness recovery was supposed to be a waiting room, so to speak, until they can find me a bed in the system. And they found one at Valley Plaza. It took them a long time, because most people are out in a week or two. I was over a month. And I'm living in Valley Plaza, downtown. That's when I first was allowed to actually re-enter society, because at wellness recovery, no. You're stuck in the building. Mold infested. Stuck in the building. And so that's when I first met Russell M. Nelson. Was there at the Supersmiths. It was my first time in Supersmiths, and it was apparently Russell M. Nelson's first time in Supersmiths. As I've done that video talking about it. And I muted the news. Okay. Constitution doesn't bar Trump's impeachment. Yeah. Apparently a lawyer in the previous lawsuit is the one who's coming out and saying, no, Trump can be impeached. I'm not his lawyer this time. No, he can be impeached. Impeach the bastard. Yeah, Lincoln Project did a video today called Convict. Very good video. They do good work. And so I'm trying to reacclimate myself to society. all my possessions are gone. Parents threw it all away because they thought they got rid of me. That the church is true because I was indefinitely detained for saying that Joseph Smith was a translator. And they were trying to cover up that they'd all been involved in kidnapping and abduction of my children. But again, that's a back story. And so I'm in probation, and they're trying to get me on Social Security, and I'm able to get into Social Security, and because of the amount of hours that I've worked in my life, I qualify for disability, which it would take the video too long to explain why the abuse against me is so ridiculous. But I was a federal officer when I was arrested, and then the church had me indefinitely detained. That's how bad it was. How bad they are, and how bad it is for the Utah courts to let the church get away with it. Anyway, where was I? And so, in 2014, I have a little bit of money. I only had $40 in my possession, and not allowed to get a bank account yet, so I don't have debit cards or anything like that, so I have to deal with cash. And only had $40 to my name, and I see a sign posted around the building that another tenant in the building was selling their computer for $40. Yeah, I'm sure it's because it's the Mormon God, not the LDS Church God, because they don't refer to themselves as the LDS Church or Mormon. No, Jesus is angry. That such a nickname would be used after all these years of using it by the church. But anyway, I finally get a computer. Then I realize, oh, I need the internet. Oh, crap. So I can only get CenturyLink at Valley Plaza. That's the only one they allow because it's a cord thing, not a Wi-Fi thing. And so, yeah, I get that hooked up. So I'm finally able to get back to doing my Paleo-Hebrew research that got me indefinitely incarcerated in the first place. So, yeah, I learned my lesson. I will never pursue Paleo-Hebrew ever again. I will acknowledge the church is supreme, that Joseph Smith is not a translator. So, yeah, and other stuff. And so, by the end of the year, I finally had my interview for the disability insurance to make sure that I'm not trying to con them. And, well, the lady said I was trying to con them. I didn't qualify. My therapist said, you don't need therapy, I'm discharging you. The whole thing was crashing down as the Dr. Khan, who's the one who was paid by the church, who was now my probationary officer, and she was superseded by another doctor there, and he let me go free all at the same time. Well, no, the doctor was next year, yeah, that's right, because it was when I moved here. And so I'm discharged, and I'm failing the disability test. I don't qualify. I'm fully capable, So yeah, then the rest of the North Valley people needed to do damage control and go to the government and say, oh no, he really is court ordered. And so I got approved. Apparently there are lawyers for this kind of thing to make sure that you get approved the first time around, because they say everybody gets dismissed. Why are people dismissed when they are legitimately disabled? I mean, if I got all my appendages blown off, would they still disqualify me? That's scary that we have such a system. But anyway, so I get disability, but because of my indefinite incarceration, I get over $20,000 of reimbursement. Now, this is back in 2015. It's all gone because they require it to be spent in 9 months. That's why I have everything I've got. And so it's 6 years old now. And the part with the church is a side story. We're talking about Amazon. And so in 2015, I get myself a laptop, get myself this computer here, and find out after I get sealed in the Salt Lake Temple to Karen, as Russ was there, if you remember those videos, at our wedding reception, an old friend from the older singles ward, who's now married also, she came. I didn't give out formal invitations. I just, yeah, great, she came. We met through Facebook, and her husband was talking with a group of us about how he works at Amazon and how you can publish through Amazon for free. You can take pictures of the ceiling and publish it. Yep, royalties. Who's talking loudly out there? But I hope they convict. Don't get me sidetracked. And so I check it out. It was Creative Press. Can't remember right now. It was something like that Amazon was using. And they've since gone to KDP to be under Amazon's main control. And so all my books from Creation, whatever, got bumped over into KDP. And I've since done audio as well, which is another, only I can do it better knowing what I know now and the experience I have. But anyway, had begun publishing the books that I had recovered from the thumb drive that my dad did save for me. There were lots of stuff that were damaged in the file, and the fonts were unreadable. He didn't save the fonts. But yeah, I started publishing my previous work and began working on other stuff, and so in 2015, that was later in the year in 2015, but in May, what I wasted my money on, over $2,000 of the $20,000, was to publish a book that I had been working on all the previous year. Now that I was out and had a computer, and so I had gotten into the business through another company, and it was the one guy that worked for Amazon at my wedding reception that informed me that I could have done it myself and not had to pay the $2,000, and other such things. If I had spent another $1,000, I could have taken trips around the world for book signings. But in 2017, I had been befriended in 2014 at church by Daniel Trotter, and he kept in contact with me through all the time. I've helped him with the move. I didn't get invited to his wedding, but we spent a lot of time together. And he's no longer a friend. He withdrew himself from LinkedIn even. Because Bishop Reed Hammond kicked me out of the church. And so I'm obviously the one to blame if a bishop does it. And back in 2017, he said that there was going to be a family discovery day in Elko, Nevada, and they had a space that they requested that I be a part of. Then they later over time were telling me, well, you need to make sure that your books are appropriate for the venue. If you knew what my books were and you didn't approve, why are you asking me to go but publish at the last minute approved books? Come on, guys. But nonetheless, I did it. Did my big game that's sitting here on the windowsill for all these years. It's Civilization. It was a Civilization board game, and so I did a variation of it called Mormon Zion Civilization, something like that. It was rushed and needs to be updated with another edition. But regardless, it was the first 1,000 years of the game. Yes, you have to play it for 1,000 years. And had that, and had some other stuff. And there's the picture. I've shown the picture in other videos. But then I get told that I have to spend more money than what they were already telling me to spend. Disability pays you less than minimum wage. And so I'm being allowed the greatest opportunity of my life, but it's a financial burden for me because of my situation. But I knew and understood I needed to do it to invest. And so I needed tablets so that I could have a scanning system for credit cards, more expenditures. And found them at Best Buy, because I don't think I was doing Amazon yet. That was later in 2017. And because it's kind of strange, because I'm there publishing books through Amazon, but I'm not really an Amazon customer yet. I didn't fully grasp the ease of Amazon. But I found Best Buy had some tablets that were $250, and so I needed two, one for Karen, one for myself, so that she could help, and then it would be something for her to use thereafter. Anyway, I need $500 that I don't have. Never had a credit card in my life. Always made sure to live with the paycheck that I received. And thus, from my point of view, living that way, paycheck to paycheck, getting a house, getting a car, was impossible. I needed a better job in order to get that. And so, yeah, going at indefinite incarceration, yeah, that sort of nailed the coffin for me shut, as there was no way in the world that I was ever going to get back into society. As conservatives say, just get a job. Quit being a bum. Yeah, okay, you try being poor. Come down from your rich, wealthy, affluent life given to you by your mommy and daddy. Most likely your daddy. But that's how I grew up. I know all about it. It was my leaving home. All of a sudden, everything collapsed on me. But anyway, back story. So I go to try to apply for credit cards that come in the mail, and they all reject me, and because I don't have any credit. I'm a clean slate, nothing showing that I can be trusted for credit. And you have to have credit in order to get credit. So I keep trying, go to my bank, it's a credit union, and I have to go through all this process. I am shown mercy, apparently, because they didn't want to give me anything, but I got $500. I was hoping for $1,000. They only allowed $500 because I'm on disability. It was a risk to have me on $500. That's why nobody else wanted to take me, but I got the $500, was able to obtain the tablets, and Karen was freaking out that I was now in debt. But the book signing did pay for it, so I was able to pay back the money for the tablets after the and so I continue on with my life, and I think it was that summer Amazon sends me their version of a credit card. It was just after I had become a Prime member under disability. And I had to show that I was disabled. I had to present documents to them, upload documents to their site to get approved for the Prime membership discount, which is only $3. Wow. Way to go, Amazon. You're really helping us who are disabled. But, you know, it's more than paid off for itself with all of the free shipping and the expedited shipping that's free too. And I get this advertising for credit card. It was solely for Amazon, so I can only use it on Amazon. Can't take it to my grocery store or Walmart. It has to be used on Amazon. And so it's $6,000. There's no way I'm going to be able to pay it back. But I didn't know that because they allowed 2 years of me not paying it back. And knowing of my financial distress, and I have a wife that I'm trying to take care of, as you get screwed when you get married when you're on disability. They don't like disabled people getting married. They financially punish you, taking away money from you. Not from my disability, but from her Social Security. And so that created extra financial stress in our relationship, in our marriage. And so that put pressure on me to figure out a way to get more money, as royalties are going to take time to build up, to get myself known on the Amazon website and blah, 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 which then the analytical programs destroyed me. Analytical programs are the death of business, and yet all businesses use them because they get suckered into purchasing them for their business. Anyway, YouTube is failing miserably because of analytical programs. You need a straight count program, not analytical, so that it would tell me exactly how many people viewed my site, how long they viewed it, who they were, whether male or female, subscriber or unsubscriber, etc. None of this projection analytics. It's just crap. They still can't get the video I did the other day about John DeLynn. See, now they're behind. In the beginning, they were ahead. Then the Super Bowl sort of messed it up, as they were projecting that as the way things are going, you should be having this many views by now, Travis. No, they're watching the Super Bowl. And so then the Super Bowl ends, people start coming back and are watching that video. But now they're like, oh, the Super Bowl, nobody was watching, so now our projection is lower. Do a straight count, and then eliminates all of that mess. But they'll never do it. Everybody gets fooled into thinking their business is doing awesome because they've got an analytical program. My website was destroyed. It was saying that I was getting 3,000 views per day, and I was able to see all the views of the people and their IP addresses. I had an actual identification of who was viewing my site. So yes, I knew there were Russians. There were those from the United Arab Emirates. There were those from Pakistan even. And in South Korea and China, which was in Hong Kong because they don't allow China to see American websites. And so, yes, I was able to know who were watching my channel, and then all of a sudden, I filed my lawsuit against the church. The next day, oh, we've changed. You now only have 30 views instead of 3,000. What? And then all of the people also gone. I just saw them the previous day. Now they're gone. And they're trying to make me believe that, oh, it's just a different program we're using. You might notice some people missing. Yeah! Were they real or were they fake? So yeah, don't fall for analytical programs. So anyway, I have this business working relationship with Amazon now. And they know I'm disabled, and yet they still granted a $6,000 credit card. My first time having a real credit card, not counting the Cyprus one, because the Cyprus one was deceptive. They don't charge a lot of interest. As long as I've learned that if I have a certain sum of money in the account before a certain day, I don't have to pay as much interest. And there are even times where if I have it almost paid off, like the last month's $600, yeah, I didn't have to pay interest for this month. Wow, if all credit cards could be like that. Nope. And so here's Amazon, knowing I'm disabled, knowing the law that you can't take advantage of disabled persons. There's a federal law against it, and there's a state of Utah law against it. And yet, nonetheless, 2 years later, I go to pay the monthly amount, because they said I didn't have to pay, but then they're telling me I have to pay at least a minimum. I don't remember that in the contract. But nonetheless, I've been paying regularly, and then all of a sudden, I get this bill for $8,000. Oops. The tragedy of the divorce and the pressure from the church was unprepared, as I was planning to be. And I kept paying the minimum that they were forcing me to pay, because they were still allowing me to do that, but that was increasing the amount of interest month after month. I was screwed. I tried calling them. Nope, they hung up. And I was in big trouble. But I knew the law back from my childhood that all you have to do is at least demonstrate that you're paying. And even if it's just 1 penny, the court would recognize that you are attempting to make payments. However, Amazon did not allow anything like a penny. It had to be like 20 or 25 or something like that. And then it got to the point where I go to pay the minimum again, and it's denied. They say I have to pay the full thing, and I can't. And they've already hung up on me. They're not willing to work with me, and now they're denying me to make any kind of payments toward the balance. So I'm not using it anymore. It's maxed out. But they totally screwed me. And that's what compromise is. When you get somebody compromised, or they're already compromised and they come to you for help. So you, in financial compromise, you give them a loan, knowing they'll never pay you back unless they commit crimes to steal money in order to pay it off. That's what the whole Russian compromise is all about. They want you criminally liable to them. They own you. That's what Amazon is doing with their credit card. I should never have been qualified for their credit card. And yet, knowing my circumstance, they granted it. And it was for the sole purpose to destroy me financially. Because they knew it would happen. They knew I couldn't pay it back. They knew that they will cut me off from paying the minimum. They knew all this. And so, yeah, they finally had lawyers obtained, and they tried to sue. with the paperwork I showed you in the beginning. And now they're saying we dismiss our own case? It's because of the laws. Apparently they did some checking, I guess. Not quite sure what really happened. They don't explain why. They're just saying we're dropping it. But I don't think they were allowed to, because I already responded. And so it's the Vulnerable Adult Protection Law in Utah, and as it is for federal government, but this was in the state court, so I used the state law. It's like 72 something, I think. Can't remember. I'd have to check it here. I don't have it. But yeah, they claimed in their response, so that's the court saying they want money. So I don't know if I'm supposed to put in a dismissal of my own or what. So I'll have to figure it out. Like I said, if anybody's interested still, after hearing this so far, I guess I'll end it. I don't need to go into why I was indefinitely incarcerated. That seems irrelevant at this point. But I have all the evidence that I was and that I am, as the state had ordered, because of Dr. Cohn. But let's see. This is the memorandum in opposition to the defendant's motion to set aside judgment. It wasn't set aside judgment, it was to dismiss. With prejudice. And so this is what they had claimed. Plaintiff, by and through its counsel of record, hereby submits this memorandum in opposition to the defendant's motion to dismiss. Plaintiff's opposition is based upon the defendant's failure to cite to any rule within the Utah Rules of Civil Procedure. I used the Utah law for vulnerable adult. What do you mean? My failure. See, they were going after me. And so this could be why they then realized, oops, there was a law. And it's one we're going to get our butt creamed. Upon which the defendant might have this case dismissed. Additionally, defendant's motion to dismiss is unsupported by any affidavit or exhibit whatsoever upon which to establish allegations. I submitted my disability status, the certificate that they send me. If any, upon which the court may dismiss this action. Accordingly, plaintiff opposes defendant's motion to dismiss, and such motion should be denied. I don't understand. Is there some secret code that denies logically minded citizens who have not been to law school, who have not passed the bar, who have not been licensed in the state of Utah to practice law? Are there secret laws that only they get to use? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just, reality isn't real, truth isn't true. And so here's their reply to my counterclaim. See, I've already replied to their initial one. So I don't think they can do this dismissal now. It's a little too late. I think I can use my counterclaim against them now. Plaintiff, by and through their attorney of record, hereby replies to defendant's counterclaim. Rule 41. I filed a counterclaim. Plaintiff denies any and all the allegations set forth in defendant's counterclaim. We didn't file a lawsuit. I don't know what he's talking about. This is out of the blue. And demands strict proof. Oh, dear God. Additionally, plaintiff asserts the following defenses against the defendant's counterclaim. First defense. Defendant's counterclaim fails to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. Isn't that nice? This is what makes me think that the church had something to do with this. Because this kind of thing is not supposed to be used frequently. It's only used never. And yet here I am, trying to defend my very existence, and nobody will let me. And yet they're still saying that I need to show proof, but because I'm not showing a claim upon which relief may be granted, I did. It's Utah law for vulnerable adults. That's my claim. They attacked me with their court case. The alleged damages of defendant were caused in whole or in part by their own negligence and fault. Oh, that's what it is, that I'd have no claim. It's my fault. They're innocent. Right. Okay. Is that what the church is claiming? Is this the spoken part that was unspoken in the church's 2 lawsuits that I filed against them? Yeah. I was indefinitely detained on my negligence. I was arrested. I turned myself in, and they obliged. It's my fault. Negligence and fault of third parties, and therefore there can be no award of damages in this action against plaintiff. Again, $33 billion. And there's a reason for that, and it's because they financially punish us as disabled. They don't want us getting out. I'm only allowed $2,000 in savings. If I go over that, and I get less than 900, well, it's now over 900, but that money gets added to what's already in the savings at my custodial payee service, whatever it's called. And so if they don't make sure that the money that's about to come in for the next month will not put me over 2,000, then I lose my medical insurance. Isn't that great? Under Obama, I would have been forced to get Obamacare, pay for it, because you'd get punished if you didn't have insurance. Just so many problems. They do not want us to succeed and get back out into society. Get off disability. And yet they give us less than minimum wage for the sole purpose that it would be an incentive for us to get off disability. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so there's a third. By defendant's actions and inactions, defendant is estopped to assert or has waived the claims contained in the complaint asserted against plaintiff. I've waived them? What? Wherefore, plaintiff requests judgment in their favor, dismissing the counterclaims against them with prejudice. Dismissed? On the merits, and awarding attorney's fees to the plaintiff and judgment for such relief as may be just and equitable. Well, nothing would be just and equitable against me. I get less than minimum wage. If I lose and I'm forced to pay their legal fees and court fees, yeah, they're going to have to garnish. And according to Utah law, they garnish 50% max. It didn't work when I was forced to pay child support. They took out 70%. Financially destroyed me back in the 2000s. She was the one who kidnapped the kids, and I'm financially ruined. Yay! What would life be like without me? Clarence, where are you? Don't you want your wings? And so, yeah, I'm already making less than minimum wage. And the courts, this is why I'm like, oh God, Calgon, take me away, is because I can foresee a judge saying, oh, I see that you tried suing the church, Travis. The church is the only true church on the face of the earth, so I'm going to render in favor of the plaintiff to punish you. And so, yeah, I'm totally in fear for my life, that I could be financially ruined, despite the law on my side. This is why it was all cryptic in the videos before. And yeah, I would be completely ruined. I would have to give up the internet. I would have to give up eating. As the amount of rent would cover the remaining 50%. I would be destroyed, literally. And they're already trying to get rid of me here at this building. They still have on record that they're going to attack me again, after they already did attack me again, right before the second lawsuit ended. I couldn't believe they followed the same pattern. God. So, yeah, I think I've got Amazon by the balls here. And so, if you're interested, or you know somebody who would be interested, have them contact me. All you have to do is Google search me. You'll find my business. It's on Google. I have a business. It's got my information there. He can reach out and contact me. I don't think the phone number is accurate, but he can do the email. He'll have to notify me that he's a lawyer, or she. But I think I got a claim. Alrighty, that's catches you up to date now. But I mean, my reading of things, without having gone to law school, without having passed the bar, without being licensed to practice, as just a regular citizen who had aced grade grammar school, it appears I have a way to go after the Amazon, continue with the counterclaim by stating that they filed too late, that we're already in the process. And so I'll just proceed with my counterclaim and present all of the evidence that I had printed up that was going to be sent anyway. There will have to be a $165 fee if I get a lawyer, unless somebody does it for pro bono, I guess, and then I can still file the waiver, I guess. I don't know. But there's no way I can pay the $165. Like I said, you win me this case, you'll have to make sure that it's not a situation where I have to get monthly installments. It needs to be all paid up in front. None of this, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you $10,000 a month. That will financially ruin me. Because I lose disability, I lose my health insurance, my rent goes up. And so, yeah, I would be ruined. And so it needs to be the full amount. Because I would need to have a whole new life. I have to go buy a home because my credit rating's destroyed. I can't get transportation. Credit rating's destroyed. I don't even have a driver's license. The 6 years I had to go before the DMV and lie to their face because they did not allow me to renew my driver's license. They only wanted me to have an ID. They only gave me money for an ID. And I had to tell them, nope, that's not me. The guy gave me a strange look. But I think he sort of was suspicious that the woman who was with me was not my wife, and therefore I was being held hostage. He never reported it. But yeah, the rich do not understand, and I think they do, but they just claim ignorance about how it is so disabling to be poor. And Romney is a part of the bipartisan push for $3,000 for children. Oh, yay. But what about us who are single and poor? Oh, we may get $1,400 because we've only gotten $1,800 for the full year. I mean, the $1,400 is not going to last us for this year. It's less than minimum wage. So, yeah, it has to be $33 billion because I can't go shopping at Amazon anymore. I have to either pay a personal driver to drive me around to go shopping, to drive me around to do errands and whatever else I got to do. You know, the other option is to go to an actual eye doctor who will give me the right contacts so that I can go into the driver's thing, take the test. I'll most likely have to do a driver's test, which is more money. So this is what was knocking on my door. And Amazon was all set to crush me. And for some reason, unbeknownst to why, they just dismissed. They saw that I was disabled. They knew the law. I was in there, even though they were in denial on their documents. So I don't understand. Maybe they learned that I had been given this court filing to show proof to waive. And they went, oh crap, if he gets the waiver, we lose. So, yeah, I don't know. But it's weird. So maybe hesitation may have saved me, or it may have ruined me. I don't know. so much pressure from Mormons who just hate, want to destroy me. It's wearing me down. I have nobody standing up to defend me. And thoughts and prayers don't mean jack. I know you guys mean well and you can't do anything to help me. But those of you who are sending me well wishes, great, but it doesn't help me. Oh, dear God. So, alrighty. I don't think there's anything else to put into this, I guess. So, yeah. Are there any lawyers out there who want to stick it to Amazon? Because with $33 billion, I can invest that and do my own Amazon competition. And I can do it better. Because while I was indefinitely incarcerated, I developed a whole business with all the money charts and all that, financial charts. Yep, all right there. I had plenty of time, and talked about Easy, how he was the one who was getting me paper. I had to trade him for my dessert. Then eventually he wanted to extort me to be indebted to him for 2 desserts. No, Easy, we're not doing that. But yeah, I got all the paper thanks to him, and figured out the game and designed an Amazon business before I even knew Amazon existed. I think Amazon came about while I was locked up, I think. So, alrighty, in Utah's Guantanamo Bay, because you don't have to take them to court, you just disappear them. They're gone. Just like the airport director. Remember him? Gone. Oh, he was a big bad child porn guy. Was able to download 50,000 images in one day, of which Microsoft just happened to get a tip and reported it. Huh. Right at the time when Herbert was ordering the airport to open, and he was saying, no, I want people to live. I'm not going to execute people through the airports. Herbert got his way, I guess. Isn't that interesting? So that the church could flee, because I had just served the church through a waiver of summons. Alrighty. This is already over an hour. Nobody's listening. Nobody's wanting to take the case. Crap. What do I do?